Some women chase success, others become leaders worth following. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. I've got Stephanie here. You probably know her as Exo Gingy online. She has been a constant, a staple, an absolute expander in the coaching world as long as I can remember. So it's so special to have her here. She's made over $36 million in the last 8 years, teaching, mentoring people on social media, content, marketing, sales, building an incredible brand, and just absolutely blowing the top off what's possible and what's realistic. And she's at this point in her work, in her life, where she doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to show up for anything. So that comes with these beautiful new challenges of, okay, what do I really want to do then? What really matters to me? And she's in what some of us know as the great in between, where we know the way our business has been isn't truly lighting us up anymore, as beautiful as it's been. And we don't totally know what's next yet either. And we've all kind of been there, but I'm sure the pressure and the challenges might look a little different when there's a $36 million business riding on it. So I'm so grateful to have Steph here and give us behind the scenes tea on what's happening in your brain and your business and everything as we go. So hi, Steph, and welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm excited because I know that you want to dive into these juicy conversations that aren't really talked about a lot. And I know that a lot of women, no matter where they are in their journey right now, can relate to everything that we will discuss today. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Yes, I'm so grateful. When I pitched this to you, it was like we just sent a little voice note and I was like, I just feel like there's these juicy conversations here no one's having. And you were immediately yes, which was so good. So thank you for sharing this all with us. Before we dive into what the fuck we're supposed to be doing next, can we do a little bit of celebration on everything that's been? Can you maybe expand us a little bit? Tell us some of your favorite moments or achievements or experiences that you've had over the past 8 years that really stick with you.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, everything, it's like when I started this, I'm sure people can resonate. Like, I had no idea that it would get to this level. I had no idea that I would make $1 million, let alone 36 million of them. Like, that was not on my radar when I started. I just wanted to make enough money to like live a normal life and do what made me happy and not be in a traditional job. So even just like the beginning days before I had my first million, like business was so exciting because it was all new and it was
Yes.
just fun and it was like possibility was in front of me and I was doing all these things for the first time. And then hitting your first 10K month, multi five figure a month, and then it's like growing from there. My first 100K month, my first million, like all of these milestones. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I'm, like, blown away by, like, the big things, the little things, everything in between, but, milestones like my first $100,000 month, my first $1 million year, multi 6
Mhm.
months, like, I've even had a few $1 million cash months, like, that is crazy, and if I'm being very honest, sitting here today when I say this, it's almost like it still doesn't register for me. I'm like, "Wait, you did what? Like, what's happening?" Which I
Yes.
think is, like, that's why I love it so much is because I never wanna feel like it's normal. Like, yes, we can normalize success and money and wealth, but there's this duality of, like, it's what I've created and it's my normal, but also like, when I'm reiterating it like this, I'm like, "Is this me? Like, is this my life? What?" Like, so
Yes.
there's so many things I'm sure I can name off, but this has been a beautiful ride of doing things that I never thought in my life that I would be able to do, and then at the same time, be able to impact the way that I have and show women, like, you can do this too your own way is just beyond what I ever thought I would do in my entire life, and I did it in 8 years and counting.
I know. This sounds like a retirement speech. Like, I feel like you're like 100 years old and you're like, well, that was my life. It was beautiful and I'm off now. Like, I've done so much. Like,
Oh
but
my
you've
god.
got so much life left to live. How amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing, and that's part of my message now. We can talk about that later if you want, but it's just like, how amazing is it that we have an opportunity in today's world to actually be so young and
Mhm.
make so much money and wealth so young, and then it's like it's almost like for me, it almost feels like my life is starting, but in a way where I have 0 financial restriction.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you know what I mean? Like, that is crazy, and, being here, I'm, like, even more motivated to share that message because it's like women in 20s, 30s, whatever, it's like, if you can just go big for a few short years, you can create life-changing money, whether you continue to build your business or not, to have the financial
Mm,
security does something to you and your spirit and your energy and realizing, like, there's actually no constraint now. So if there's no constraint, who am I? That's a big one.
mm,
Like, who am I?
mm.
What do I want to do? What do I value? And when we have money, we find out who we are because
Yeah.
there's not like there money is not a constraint anymore. And I know if someone would have told me that earlier on, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I know who I am. But it's like when you don't have any constraints financially, you have the freedom of choice. And that's been the coolest thing for me to discover. Like, if I could have anything or do anything, what do I really value? And
Mm,
once you're financially free or in overflow, you don't get that. And that's one of a big motivator that I have to keep sharing the message that I share in my work is I want women to experience what's possible without any financial constraint.
yeah, that is amazing, and just a completely different ball game to meet yourself on that level where there's no, nothing left outside that can validate you, and you truly just have to meet, "Who am I and what makes me happy, and where do I go from here?"
Absolutely.
Yes. What did, like, making that sort of money teach you about yourself and what you did want? Like, who did you meet when you got
Yeah.
to that point?
Well, it's so interesting because, like, and I talk about this a lot in my content and in my work in general, but, I am someone who's like, yes, be courageous in business and take risks financially, but I'm also someone who's like, be very responsible with your money. So when I first
Mhm.
started making a lot of money, I was not spending my money. I was saving it, investing it. Like, I wanted to have so much financial security because a big mistake people make in their business is they make big money for the first time, but then they are maybe irresponsible with it and then they don't actually set themselves up for long-term success. So I realized because I made multiple millions of dollars. I actually built my business because we celebrated like 10 million lifetime and beyond. Yeah, a lot. I can't remember how much my business was at when we moved in our new home, but I was living in my husband's and before that fiance, boyfriend's little home, tiny little home.
Mm.
No fancy car, no designer anything, making multiple millions of dollars, and what I learned about myself, to answer your question, is that I didn't care about all those things. I care about those things now because I have the freedom to, but when I first started making the money, and even when I could spend the money, I learned I actually care more about continuing to build, serving, getting better at my craft, helping people, innovating. So it was funny because I remember like people in my hometown being like, I don't believe that she's wealthy because she just still drives a shitty little car or she still
Yeah.
lives in that little house. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm saving my money. I'm building a business, whatever. So I'm very grateful for that lesson because it showed me I can be wealthy and not need to prove to people that I am.
Yeah.
Now that I buy a bag or I live in a nice house or I buy a Porsche or whatever, it's like I know that I'm doing it for me, not for other people, because if I was doing it for other people, I would have been doing it long ago. So that was one cool thing to experience. Like, I really value the simple things in my life, even having all the money in the world. And I think a lot of really good, wealthy people would say the same. Like, I love a simple life, slow mornings, hanging out with my dogs, laying on the bed watching TV. Like, money didn't change me. It helped amplify my life and it gave me freedom of choice, like I said. So I learned that. And I also learned more about other people, but when you become wealthy, other people will project their own stories onto you because when someone is not wealthy or successful, they have an idea of what they will be like when they have the money, which is often not
Mm.
true. Like we think, "Oh, when I'm rich, I'll do this or be like this," and then you get the money and you realize I'm just the same person, but it was cool to witness people's opinions or projections or ideas because even though sometimes those moments are difficult, it showed me like who as Stephanie, even if people are saying you should be like this or questioning it, I was just like, "Oh, I know who I am." So money
Mm.
helped me just remember like what matters in my life, what I value at the end of the day. I've built an audience, a brand. People look at me, there's expectation, there's pressure, but at the end of the day, I know that, like, I go kind of dark sometimes. Like at the end of my life when I'm 90 or whatever, it's like what's going to matter? What's going
Mm.
to matter is my family, my health, my happiness, the people around me. It's like all the noise won't matter. All the projections won't matter. All the whatever doesn't matter. So I think it's just like I've learned that I'm a very grounded person. And when you're not a
Mm.
grounded person, money will expose you, right? Like your insecurities or the all of that, which I have compassion for. But I think I'm just really proud of I've always stayed true to myself as
Mm.
success grew.
Yeah, you can see it in you. It's like anything like that just bounces off you, and you see it in confident people where they're not affected by the opinions and the projections and things like that because they're so grounded in, I know I'm a good person. Like, I know what I wake up and do every day. I know how I show up for my
Don't get me
people.
wrong, sometimes it does make me like, oh, like why are you saying that or whatever. But I think it's like I always come back to this is my life, this is my truth,
Yeah.
and I think anyone who has a public, brand image persona, people put you on a pedestal, whether you want them to or not, it's like you have to deal with people are going to have opinions, people are going to say things. And I just think it's the most important thing to stay true to yourself through that because if not, it's really easy to lose yourself. And that's where a lot of women I've seen coaches go through this, anyone, it's like there is a component of like mental health. When you're expected to be a certain way, there's pressure on you, people are saying things, that's a lot to carry, and
Mhm.
I think I know for me when I started my business, I didn't think that I would have to navigate pressure in that sense or people expecting something of me. I was just like, my followers will buy from me and it will be great and it'll be some fun.
Everyone will love me.
And then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, wait," especially when you reach a level of success that is not normal, it's gonna trigger stuff in people. So, it comes with the territory, but I think at the end of the day, it helps you stay true to yourself.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit because I know obviously you've helped so many people and have such a crowd of people who love you. But I know, and I'm sure you know, there's parts of the internet that talk about you and not always in the nicest way. Like, is there ever, how do you handle that stuff? Or was there phases earlier in your business where it did really affect you or big
Yeah,
experiences that really wobbled you
yeah,
just to, I think just expands people to see that that happens, but we hold it and it doesn't kill you.
yeah.
But
I mean, it's like well, one, I'm not a very controversial person. Like, you know how some people's brands are very polarizing and they get like a lot of like hate. Like, I've never experienced that because I'm honestly not very controversial. I don't polarize very much.
you're like, "I like Taylor Swift and
I'm like, I
jokes."
love
Like,
Taylor Swift and I happen to be a little successful, whatever, But
yeah.
at the end of the day, there I still have, encountered people, like talking about me, making fun of me, post, passive aggressive, this and that. And like it has bothered me in the past. It would still bother me today, only in the sense of I'm human. Like I care
Mm.
that people have the right interpretation of me, but also at the same time, I know that people are going to make up stories based on their own triggers and all of that. But I like it does affect me because I just care and I know how powerful social media can be where the moment that someone creates a narrative, it's like there's a whole group of people who just decide that narrative is true. So I
Mhm.
would be lying if I said it never has affected me or it doesn't affect me. It does. But for me, This is why it's so important to have a strong support system of people, in my opinion, that are not even in the coaching industry, like my husband, my team. Yeah, they're in the coaching industry because they work for me, but they're not immersed in the online space. Having things that ground me in my family life and my personal life so I can stay focused on what actually matters. And also, like, I don't go looking for it. Like, some people look up stuff about them and this and that. I don't want to see it because I believe that our experience of life is based on our perception. So if I go looking for it or reading into it, then it's going to feel like the whole world is hate when really I'm just consuming
Mm,
it. So I'm very intentional of who I surround myself with, my feed, and curating my own social media feed, who I follow, who I don't follow, taking everything with a grain of salt, focusing on the people. This is the thing. I focus on the people who actually know me. Someone
mhm.
doesn't actually know you if they follow you on social media.
Yeah.
They know a lot about you, but people like to find one post and decide I hate this person from this one post and not even take the time to get to. So I just try and remember all of these things, like the people who actually know me and my clients, or the people who actually take the time to follow me and like listen to everything I say. I value their opinions, not one person who created a incorrect narrative and wanted to leverage that. Like, we just can't give so much focus onto that. I know easier said than done, but um yeah,
Mhm.
I just try and have really strong boundaries around what I consume, and I focus on the people who know me would always be honest with me. If there was a real issue, I'm pretty sure someone would tell me. And so
You would hear it, the truth
I
of
would
it,
hear.
and people cling on to the negativity when they're in the negativity, so it's like,
Yeah,
exactly what you said, you can curate your algorithm. I see sometimes I'll just click on one thing on the internet about something, shady in the industry or something, and then it's like the next day my feed is like 40 people complaining about something,
isn't that
and I'm like,
crazy?
"You
Like,
guys are."
message Instagram. You like I this is kind of related, not related. I like clicked on a post with like a disco ball, and then my whole feed was disco ball. Like, so you click on one hate post or one negative thing,
Yes.
your whole feed is like that. You've got to like, oh, find the positive, find the positive.
Get back into the positive bubble. I know, and when you're in there, it can just feel like that's everyone, or that's how everyone
Yeah,
feels, or you see the next post, someone be like, "The whole industry is like this," and you're like, "No, it's not. It's the 4 people you're trapped
yeah,
listening to over and over again." Yes. Okay, so I wanna come back just quickly to the money. What else did it teach you about, like, other people and sales? Like, what did you learn when you're actually operating in such big numbers that
yeah.
maybe just breaks our brains a little bit on.
Oh, good question. I mean, I think that women especially tend to be really in their head with selling and making money. And the first thing that comes to my mind when you ask me this is like, when I'm in the frequency of just trusting that people want to buy and trusting that
Mhm,
people are abundant and I'm selling as if everyone is going to buy, that's when everyone's buying, no matter what the price is, no matter, and I think it's just like, it's our job to make people feel yes.
mhm,
And when someone feels that yes from a very empowering, abundant place, it's a response to someone who's selling from their power, selling abundantly. They're excited. It's like there's a level of conviction. So I just learned the more that I'm convicted and confident and happy and excited and putting things out there, and trusting myself, the more that people trust themselves to buy from me when I'm just
mhm.
giving the energy that I want to receive. And so
Yes.
that's a big thing, is like the world is abundant. People want to buy, people want to buy everything. And the easiest sales come in when you're not in your head, but you're in your power and you believe that people move the way that you move. That's a big thing.
Mm,
Early on, I remember feeling almost frustration, like, people don't move the way I do, like, poor me, right? Like, I'm the only one who moves big and other people don't, right? And that attitude did not serve me because I'm going out into the world thinking no one buys the way I do. When I shifted that and was like, "Steph, people do, but you're focusing on the few people who don't." If you
yeah.
show up and realize there's so many other people who move the way you do and want to invest and want to learn and want to be coached, then it's like you're going to attract them instead of being annoyed by maybe some people who don't be in the energy of so many people do, and that's who you will attract. And so I just think abundance attracts abundance, power attracts power, and it's my job
Mm,
to, yeah, all the strategy things, know my offer, know how to communicate it, but it's my job to be what I want to attract. When I'm focused
mhm.
on that, money, sales, clients come in easily.
Yes, I think that every time someone's like, "Oh, there's not enough," people don't have the money or whatever, I'm like, "Dude, like, 100 people just bought, like, XO Gingy's, like, I don't know, $10,000 offer
Yeah.
yesterday." Like, what do you mean? There's that many
Yeah.
people out there buying that, and that's not the only thing they probably bought this month, like, they're everywhere.
Yeah, and I just think people, like, I don't know about you, I'm sure you're like this, like, when I buy something, I'm happy to buy. I'm
Love
like,
it.
and I we create this story like people don't wanna buy, I'm such a burden, I'm taking their and it's like,
Mm,
go shopping or when I buy coaching or whatever, I'm excited to buy. It's a
yeah,
positive in my life, and I think it's almost like self-sabotage, like, creating this story, right, of, like, people don't wanna buy, it's such a negative thing. You've gotta reframe that and be like, there are people today who are literally happy to pay for something, but those people are only gonna buy from the people who are excited to sell and who are
yes.
focused on the people who want to buy, not the people who don't wanna buy.
Yes, not expansive to be like, yeah, just hearing about all of the people who don't wanna buy from you, that's not getting us in the zone.
Exactly, exactly, yeah.
Love that. Okay, I was scrolling through your, like, your journey to 36 million carousel this morning, and I was like, "Oh, this is so interesting that you shared about the journey with you and your husband and what you guys did when this happened of, him coming into your business and everything." Can you share, was there a stage where, like, your dynamic changed? Was he previously, like, the moneymaker of the family? Did you guys go through any edgy realignments of him getting comfortable with that? Like, what was that like?
Love this conversation. So, just like side note, so Eric, my husband, is actually the one, he was boyfriend at the time, who gave me the idea to start my business. He's like the reason why this
Love.
even start because he it was when I did fitness coaching, but he was like, "Why don't you just sell to your followers?" And I had never like thought that. I'm like, "What? Like what a concept." And that's where it all started from. But um I remember in 2019, he was in the military at that time. That was my first that was like a $600,000 year, but I had my first $40,000 month, and that he made 60,000 in a year or something like that, and I made
Mm,
almost that in a month, and I remember that's when we were both like, "Oh, this is crazy. Like, what? Like, I'm making money now that most people make in a year that you're making in a year in a month." And I'm gonna be very honest, this might not be relatable, but there was never any weird dynamic when I started to make more money than him, and he would speak to this, is the reason for that is he is not defined by how much money he makes. As a man, he that's not how he finds his purpose, his identity. What's important to him in his life is that he is fulfilled and he is doing good work in the world. And
mm,
yes, obviously has stability and all of that, but it was never like, "Oh, the power dynamic has now changed and you're this and that." Like there was none of that because the other thing is then we were engaged, getting married, or we got married that year, but we're partners in life. He
mhm,
gives to me what money could never give to me. So I might make the money in my business and the reason why we have all of these things, but he does things for me that help me make more money. He does things for me and is like a support system in a way that I could never put a price on that. So we balance each other out with what we contribute to our relationship and to our life. And he is not the kind of man that was brought up like you have to be the financial provider. And if you're not, whatever, he wasn't conditioned with that story. And so
mhm.
I'm very grateful that he's the man that he is because we didn't have to go through that because he's secure in who he is. And then the cool thing is he left the military and was able to retire, and obviously the financial stability that my business brought, he didn't have to worry about finding another job right away and this and that. And he works technically, he's employed under my company, but he's still a volunteer firefighter. He trains and teaches kids jujitsu like a bunch of times a week. Like he's doing his own thing that fulfills him. And then he
Mm,
supports the business. And I think that's so important when you're in a relationship and maybe the partner supports you a little bit, the back end of the business. It's so important that your partner has their own fulfillment. And I think
yeah,
like he never lost that because if I'm being quite frank, my business does not fulfill him emotionally. You know what I mean? It's not his
yeah.
passion. He's grateful, he supports me. He's met many of my clients. Like our life has changed. He's so grateful, but the things that fulfill him are his own. And he's always
Mm,
stayed connected to having those things that he doesn't feel like, oh, Steph just has her thing and I'm nothing. He's still doing things in his life that make him happy and he's providing and of service. And I think unfortunately maybe people don't realize that that's so important. Like your partner needs to do what is right for them and they can support you at the same time. And I think we were aware of that. And that's why he's always been doing things for himself, which I fully support.
I love that. I see a lot of these really beautiful husbands in this world of particularly the most successful women, where we have really good men behind us. And like that difference in protect and provide that men have in them is not, to me, I feel is rarely about the actual money. It's about protecting our peace. It's providing space for us to be creative and play and do the things that we want to do. And if this is the thing that's lighting us up and it happens to be making lots of money, like men will move mountains to support us and be there for us and gas us up. It's the best.
The thing that I always say is, and I'm so grateful, is Eric just cares that I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's all he cares that's all he cares about. So he's like, "Oh my god, Steph fell in love with building this business. She's so happy, she's so creative." Then he would say this too, "I never wanna be a burden." A lot of partners from jealousy, from whatever, ego, then they start to get in the way. Don't do that. Don't be too successful. Don't be too much. Don't be Eric has never been in the way. He's fully supported, like, "If this makes you happy, then how can I make it easier on you?" How can we
Mm,
make our life, our relationship, our dynamic, our at home life easier so you can have less stress so you can do what you wanna do? And I'm just so grateful that he's the man that he is to have that mindset.
yes. And I love so much as well that in all of this creation, it's also set him free to have to be able to follow all of his passions, which sound really wholesome as well. And, maybe he couldn't have done that if you didn't do all of this. Maybe he would be grinding away or still be away in the military or whatever.
That's
As
the thing.
much as he might love it, it might still be, you know, just our husbands get stuck being another cog in the wheel, being burnt out, or giving everything just to provide for us or whatever. Like, there's so much freedom that gets created for us, our partners, our families.
Yeah, because he wasn't fulfilled in the military, so he could leave, and he had the support to, and then it was, like, from desire and from freedom,
Mhm.
what can I explore and do without limitation? And that's, again, where it's just, like, we support each other in different ways, it's like the business has allowed him to have the freedom to explore all these different things. He supports me in other ways so I can keep building and give us the life that we want.
Yeah. And you are someone who has changed a lot through your business. Like, you've talked a few times about how you've shut down programs, moved on to the next. Like, when you know that it's not for you, you just honor it, pack it away, move on to the next thing. Like,
Yes.
how's that been for you? Has there been any really big things like that that were genuinely really fucking scary to let go of? Or, um,
No, this is a good conversation because one, for me, like I'm such a fast person. Like when I'm no longer excited about something, the energy is gone and there's something else. And I never if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I have to honor that about myself because if I didn't, then I might as well just work for someone else. So I've
mhm,
always given myself the liberation to say, I am not like in jail in my business unless I decide that I am. As soon as something doesn't feel good, I have the power to say, that's done and let's move on to the next thing. And I think that what happens, or I see this happen, is women outgrow something, but they're so afraid to let go of it out of like, well, what if I don't make more money a different way? There's a
Mhm.
lack of trust. And so what I learned very early on is the more that I trust myself and follow my intuition, the more money I make, the more liberated I feel, the more that I know I've got my back no matter what decision I make. And so I've ended like memberships that make multiple millions a year. That doesn't feel good anymore. I'm like, I trust myself to phase it out because I know that what will always make me money is what makes me happy. And if something is
Mhm.
draining me or doesn't feel good anymore, then I'm trying to hold so tight onto something. And that's not going to even help you grow that thing. It's like I've seen so many times like, oh, I can't let go of this. I don't like it. I'm gonna force the sales. I'm gonna force the money, and then it just doesn't work. So there's
Yeah.
got to be that risk and that courage and that self-trust to say, like, I fully believe, and this is what I teach, is when you know how to make money, you can sell anything. When you build
Mhm.
a brand, you can sell anything. So I've never been attached to a certain business model or a certain offer suite. I'm more attached to have a brand of people or an audience of people who love you no matter what you do. They will always buy no matter how you pivot and change. So it's
Mm.
a self-trust thing, but it's also that's why I think brand is one of the most important things to master in business is because then you have the freedom and the flexibility to shut things down, end things, pivot, this and that. You've always got people there wanting to buy. But I just know to bring it back is when I'm in flow and when I'm happy, the money comes in. And holding on
Mhm.
to something that doesn't feel good, I won't be in flow and I won't be happy. So even though it's scary, the letting go of something that doesn't align is always the gateway to the next level, anyways.
Yes, and you can cling on and just drag it out and make it miserable if you need to, but it's not the right
Right.
way to
No, thank you.
go. Okay, so now, like, you could never work another day in your life if you wanted to, but your content lately, it's been great. You're really taking us behind the scenes of how you're feeling and how you're processing. You're kind of in this big in between of, okay, I know that's not it, but like you said, usually the it's this now comes really fast, and it feels like now you're in this space where you're like, it's not coming. I don't know what it is yet. Like, how are
Yeah.
you doing? What's going through your mind at the
Yeah.
moment?
Oh my God. Well, I think it's a bunch of different things. It's like I just spent 8 years of my life operating a certain way. Like let's go, let's build, programs, ideas, serving, like and I don't regret any of it. Like I had the best time of my life. And the goal was to get here and then have freedom, which now I have. But and it's naturally we're going to outgrow things like whether it be offers or the way that we run our business or how much we want to work or if we even love our business and all of that. And I think what is foggy for me is just like it's like building a new habit or letting go of a habit that I just ingrained in myself for 8 years, right?
Mhm.
It's like the days feel different because it's like I want space, but for 8 years I was like hustling and doing all the things. So now it's like I want this space and I have this space and it's almost like what do I do in this space? It's that
Yes.
in between and it's like, I've never been someone that's like I need to do this by this age and I need to have this and this. Like I'm not a very like tangible goal person. I'm a very intuitive day by day, one step at a time. And so I
Mm.
have been very vocal about like this in between and who am I, identity shift, which is all very true. But there's so much complexity to this conversation because I'm also like not lost at the same time. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm lost, but I'm not lost. I'm some days I'm clear, but I'm also clear at the same time. Like it's very a duality kind of thing of an experience for me where I trust whatever is going to come is going to come. And it might actually just be what I've already done, which is I dialed back on a lot of live coaching and now I'm just repurposing and selling and having more fun than ever on social media. And then I have more
Mm,
space and I can just live my life and have freedom every day. Like, I think sometimes we think there's got to be this next big thing. Okay, now you're going to do this. And it's like, that's not how life is. Like, the big thing will come over time. For me, I'm just getting comfortable in this era of like, I did it. I still wanna
mhm,
do it, in a way that aligns in this new season, and I'm getting comfortable feeling what it feels like after just doing 8 years one way, and now I don't want that anymore. Even though I don't want it anymore, it feels like, "Ah,
foreign.
what is my life?" Exactly. So, it's just navigating that, and I think that these in-between phases are just not talked about a lot because they can feel confusing and messy and uncomfortable. And especially when you are someone who people look up to for answers, people look up, right? And then it's like, I don't have the answer, but sometimes that's the answer. It's like,
Mhm,
it's
yeah,
okay to like not know. And if you don't know your next season, it doesn't make you less of a leader or less successful. It means you're being honest. You know,
mhm,
I just shared the crash out post, and it was so interesting to observe people's reactions of like, some people got it, some people didn't get it, like, and I'm like, a woman can be so successful and so powerful and still be in a wobbly transition at the same time.
mhm.
Like, I'm like, how is that such a hard concept for people to grab?" But I think it's because it's not talked about.
Yes, I
You
actually
wanna
think it's the
have it
most impressive thing.
yeah.
Like, that you have I mean, first of all, you're doing what you said you were gonna do, which I think is really challenging when you've been, like you said, hustling and moving and had that, just the constant dopamine, excitement, like, all the things happening when you are productive like that all the time, to then stop or even just pull back is
Yeah.
so, like, challenging on your nervous system, on your mind, on your like, everything, your confidence. So for you to sit in that, I feel is the wildest leadership shit we ever have to do because it would be so easy every single day for you to be like, well, I'll just do that because I know it works, or I'll just like jump back into that, or
Exactly.
like I just need to feel busy. And for you to like sit in this, I feel like that's the shit. Like when we can actually sit in these in betweens and allow ourselves to be like, I don't know. And I don't know how long it's going to take. And I don't know what's going to happen next. But sitting in it long enough for that to come is where all the magic
And the
happens.
thing is giving myself the space to sit in it is what brings
Mhm.
clarity. Because it might be, and I haven't sat in it long enough, but it might be, actually, I'm ready to hustle more,
Yeah.
Like, or it might be, this is great. I'm dialing back and I want the space and we'll just do this and this. We have to sit in the space to actually know what we want.
Hmm.
And I think you're right. It's uncomfortable because it's like, oh, I should be operating like this. Okay, I'll just go back. But then you don't give yourself that space to find the clarity. And I do agree, like that in my eyes is the greatest form of leadership is for someone to say, I'm not just going to keep doing the thing because it's the safe answer, the comfortable answer. I'm going to sit in this and I'm going to own it and I will find the answer that's right for me no matter what it is. That's what I'm
Mm,
really proud to model because
yeah.
what I've realized as I've been speaking about this more, even a woman who maybe is not financially free yet, a lot of women feel shame. A lot of women who are a caliber of success already feel shame for experiencing any kind of quote unquote negative experience. I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm supposed to have it together all the time. I'm supposed to have all the answers. I'm not supposed to ever crash out. That's the problem.
Mhm,
I'm like, "Look at me. I'm great, and also I sometimes don't know who I am. Look at
mhm,
me. I'm successful, and also some days I'm like, 'What the heck is happening?'" Like, I wanna own it for my own self-expression, and I wanna own it to hopefully inspire someone to not feel so bad when they're having their own moment of doubt in their own life and their own business, because there's this underlying tone. Uphold an image. Only be
mhm,
a certain way. Don't express what you're really going through. It will lower your authority. All of that is crap. And I think that's what makes women feel so caged and actually it's detrimental to someone's mental health when we can't let ourselves have a real human experience. And I talk a lot about multiple things being true at once. I can
Mhm.
crash out and be okay at the same time. Like,
Yes.
like, I can be confused and be certain at the same time. I cannot know my next era and be a great leader at the same time. And I
Mhm.
think that we don't wanna see the nuances. We wanna put everyone in a category. Steph is
Yeah.
perfect. Oh, she's not, she's crashing out. Is she perfect or is she crashing out? Which you know what I mean? Like, we just wanna do that, and it's like, that's not how humans are, and that's not how business is, and I think we have to model that more.
Mhm. 100%. And, like, that is where so much of the power is, when we crash out is often when we find our best clarity, when we get frustrated by shit, it's where we see our boundaries, it's where when we break down crying on the shower floor, like, that's when everything we realize all the things that need to change, and if we don't let ourselves have those, we miss all the magic in between. And also, we just numb all of our emotions. Like, if you want to feel the highs of $1 million year, like, you need to feel the lows of the shit that got you there, or you're just going to get there numb through all of it.
Yeah, it's like this we forget this is a human experience. There's gonna
Mm,
be highs, there's gonna be lows, but if we rob ourselves of surrendering to the pain or the unhappiness or the confusion, then you're right, we don't get to the clarity, but then we don't let ourselves fully embrace the highs as well. It's like we're always just in the middle and not don't be too
mm,
excited or don't let yourself cry in the shower. And it's like be all of who you need to be and experience it and feel it. And I just think a lot of people, don't let themselves feel the negative because they think it takes away from you gotta be strong all the time. You gotta be
yeah,
in power all the time. You gotta be this and that, and it's like, those things won't go away when you let yourself have a human moment. In fact, I think having the human moment amplifies the leadership, and
100%.
I get that there's so much fear around that, and I think if anything, if I can continue to be transparent around all of my feelings and emotions, if anything, it can just help people realize the power in it for themselves.
Yes, so powerful. Because I mean, there's heaps of beauty in, expanding your nervous system and being regulated and all those things. But I think a lot of people really mistake being regulated as being calm all the time. It's more what you said, where it's like I can be crashing out and I still know in the bottom of my soul that I'm going to be good. I'm just letting myself have my little moment, that
Yeah,
needs to happen.
yeah. And I think it's just not judging yourself in those moments and not shaming yourself and knowing that the way to regulate or whatever, right, is you've got to let it out.
Mhm.
You've got to process. You've got to let yourself feel. I think more stress builds when we don't let ourselves express our truth.
Mhm. Yeah. I love as well what you said about, we don't feel the excitement of things. I feel like I see way too many women being way too cool about insane things that they're doing. And something I love about you is like when I was scrolling through that carousel, I was like, damn, she got balloons for fucking everything. Like, we always having balloons.
You know what? I love that because it's like and there was a time where I stopped, like, making everything a
Mhm.
big deal, and I'm like, "Why am I miserable?" Oh, because I'm like, "I'm just gonna brush it off," and I'm like, "F that," like, everything that we're doing in our lives and in our businesses gets to be celebrated, and somewhere along the line, I think maybe people made fun of it and this and that, and it's like, "Oh, I don't wanna be that girl that's always celebrating." Be that girl who's always celebrating. Like,
Bask in it.
that was my favorite part of my journey when I realized, like, I can celebrate everything, launches, months, highs, lows, this and that, because again, we're entrepreneurs. We don't have a boss giving us a raise. We don't have a
Mhm.
boss giving us employee of the month. We've got to celebrate ourselves. And instead,
Yes.
we're beating ourselves up because we're never good enough. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Or like you had one 20K month and now the next one you're like, well, can't celebrate it. Fuck yeah, you can still celebrate it. Still like insane. Like, just
totally.
keep going. Yeah. Buy the cake, have the photo shoot, get the balloons again. Get the balloons again, even if you got the balloons last month.
Exactly, and I think the other thing for me too is, like, outside of business, it's like, this is my life. So do I
Mm,
live my life just brushing things off and not having a good time? Or do I wanna live my life in like celebrating and making memories and remember the time we did this and did that. Like I owe it to myself to give myself a good life, just like everyone else does. But again, we get in our heads. I can't be too
Mm,
much. I can't celebrate again. What is that person gonna think? Oh, this one person said people who celebrate are whatever. And it's like at the end of the day, it's got to come back to what makes you happy. I
mm.
think live for other people instead of living for ourselves. We have to live for ourselves. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yes, and it's actually like a visibility thing, like, people are afraid to be seen celebrating or thinking that they're a big deal or thinking that they're cool or something, and it's
You're
like
gonna laugh. I'm telling you here first. I have like a post coming and I have like a cupcake with a candle and I'm all like celebrating. So and I'm celebrating no longer having money milestones. I'm even
yes,
celebrating not having or money, yeah, like money goals or whatever. And it's like I'm gonna be the one who doesn't just celebrate the wins. I'm just celebrating the fact that I'm not reaching towards a new thing. Like I
yes.
myself to own every part of my journey, as does everyone.
You spoke earlier about, like, being in the frequency of everyone wants to buy and everyone loves me and everyone's, rallying for me, and I was gonna ask you then, like, any tips on getting into it, but I'm like, I feel like it's that. Just celebrate everything, acknowledge and bask in all of the things that are great about yourself and your life and all the beauty around you, and people are so magnetized to that. That's what we all want.
Yes, because I that's what I was doing at the beginning when even when I wasn't even like doing business coaching and I was doing like fitness and then personal development, I the greatest thing for me and the thing that magnetized people to me was the fact that was loving my life.
Mhm.
That you just need to love your life. You need to represent the feeling that people want to feel, which is happy, confident, loving their life, grateful. No matter where you are in your journey, someone wants to hire someone who they feel is just embracing life and has a positive outlook and is owning who they are no matter where they're at. Like, and I think that at the end of the day, we all lack that, right? Because we can get in our head and all of this stuff, or it's so easy to focus on the negative. People are just looking for that inspiration. People are looking for who can I follow or hire or be beside that is holding this energy of gratitude and is living life to the fullest, even through the ups and downs, like we talked about, celebrating themselves unapologetically. Because I think at the
Mm.
end of the day, people just want to feel like they have the permission to live life in the way that they wanna live their life and to own it, and when you can see that in someone, you're gonna hire that person, you're gonna follow that person, you're gonna buy from that person.
100%. I talk a lot about being someone worth following, and that is someone who, is constantly looking for the ways to make life beautiful and celebrate the beauty in life and challenge themselves and see the benefits of that rather than where it beats them down and everything like that. It's just a responsibility that I feel we have as leaders. Like if you want people to come with you, you'll be taking them somewhere good. like
Yeah. You've gotta be the embodiment, right? You've gotta, like, show people what's possible, and it's, like, literally our job to be in a good vibe and to embrace life and to share that, and exactly, people are looking for hope, and if we don't give them hope, then why would I follow you? If I'm not inspired by you, if I'm not activated by you in your life, then you're not giving me anything. People need that feeling of hope and activation.
I love that. Okay, you've been opening up a little bit recently about I don't know, maybe sort of some of the shadier parts of the coaching industry, or I feel like you've been through a lot and seen a lot. Like, are there any parts of your past or experiences that you've had or anything that I don't know, you kind of look back on now and you're a little bit like, what the fuck was that?
You know, I think a lot about how and this is what I've been speaking to, is I think it's really easy to get manipulated in this industry of, like, people hiring coaches not for the right reasons. You know,
Mm,
like, "Oh, like, you're popular," or, "I have to be in a certain clique to be successful or deemed cool," or this and that, and, like, and the reason that that comes to my mind and I've been speaking about it is because I receive a lot of messages from people who say, Steph, like, I wish I would have found you or bought from you sooner because I wasted so much money in these spaces and it's just all like community and not like there's anything wrong with community, but it's all fluffy. It's all just cheering each other on. It's all just like hyping up the coach and their brand. And I'm not actually getting any tangible value. And I
Mm,
think what I see happen in the industry is a lot of people's ego takes over and it's like, I'm the best and you have to be in my world. I'm the best and you have to be in my mastermind. I'm the best and it's I'm this and you have to be around me. Like no one is saying that, but it's giving off that energy. And then people feel like I need to be in that clique. I need to be in that community. And then people learn the hard way, am I actually getting value that's supporting the growth of my business? So I've seen
mm,
that play out and I've been vocal to it because what I'm what is very important to me in my brand is that people hire me for my tangible value. They don't just hire me because of who I am. Although, like what we discussed, who we are is important. I care that someone comes in and listens to my stuff and they can take notes. Like, I know what to do to implement in my business today to go get results. What I don't
mm,
like in the industry is it turns into these like unhealthy, toxic relationships. I have my coach on a pedestal. I look up to them in the wrong for the wrong reasons. I'm constantly just paying them and really I'm just constantly validating them and I'm being part of
mm.
this group and I'm not actually learning anything tangible. I've seen that play out. That's why I've been speaking to that. I wouldn't say that I've necessarily experienced that myself as a client just because I've been in this industry for 8 years and I am someone I'm sure you are too, like, I can observe dynamics and I know, like, I'm just gonna stay out of this, I'm gonna stay out of this, like, I've always considered myself, like, a kind of like a loner, like, and I'm happy to be, like, I'm just kind of in my lane, serving my clients. I'm not friends with a lot of coaches and this and that, I like to just stay out of the drama, focus on what I'm building and serving my people. And if I were to give one piece of advice is just have discernment when you're buying from someone and ask yourself, why am I buying from this person? Is it because I fear I'm going to miss out if I'm not in their group? Is it because they're popular right now? Is it because, and it's like, those are not the best reasons to hire someone. It should be
Mm,
they have specific value that can help me get a certain result. And
mm,
what I hope can come from me speaking to this a little bit is that we hold healthier relationships in the coaching industry if we buy from people from the right reasons and if people sell not just themselves, but sell the actual value of their work.
mm. Yeah,
Because if I'm only selling myself, then people are just buying what to be beside me. That's when it gets a little weird. I don't wanna just sell, yeah, my brand is me, but my offers are tangible. So that's the biggest thing that or one of the biggest things that I've seen play out
mm,
that I think people have to learn the hard way and it is what it is and they realize, "Oops, I invested from the wrong intentions," and I think it goes both ways. I think people sell from ego, and I think people have to take responsibility for their own investments as well. So I think it's a
yeah.
two-way street.
Like you said, thinking about like, what do I actually need? What's the support I'm actually looking for?
Right.
And is this actually going to be in here? And I think it's powerful what you said about, you still speak to the energetic side, the frequency, the mindset, like all these things, but it's you can be someone who has that skill set, but you still need to be able to put it into tangible, useful, practical ways someone else can take that on than just watching you
Because
do it or something, you know?
what I've seen is people get so hyped up about a coach that they
Mhm.
start to build that coach's brand instead of their own.
Mhm.
And it's like it's one of and then it's like and then people learn that like a year goes by and it's like, "Wait, I was way more immersed in building them up than building my own thing." And that is just like I would never want that to happen in my world. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm extra cautious of just like it's just for you, for you, for you. Like, like I love you and you can love me, but there's got to be this wall where it's just like you're building your thing, I'm building mine. Yeah, you buy
Mhm.
me, which helps build mine, right? Like that's business, but I'm not asking you to hype me up. I want you to come in get what you need so you can go get amazing results.
Yeah, you're already paying money. That's that part of
Yeah,
that exchange.
yeah,
Like, you're supposed to get what you need in return.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And through all of your years, is there any like particular strategies or ways of doing business that you feel like you engaged in that maybe looking back, you're like, oh, like I don't feel super good about that? Or you learnt pretty quickly it wasn't going well? Or,
My strategy has always been like content is the number one thing for me. When I'm putting out content, providing value, positioning myself in a way that's attracting the right buyers, the right clients, my sales strategy, like I change how I sell a lot, whether it's through links or email or a masterclass and this and that, always have been successful because I focused on brand and content. You know,
mm,
to this day, and I'm not like shading anything. It's like I've never done ads. I don't do sales calls. I don't have a sales team. And I prefer to do it the way that I have done it is organically. Here's who I am. This is the value that I can provide. This is who I'm for. And I love selling the way that I've sold. And so it might be a boring answer, but I don't have like, oh, this is what I did and I would never do it again. Like I've always done my business in a way that feels good for me. And if something doesn't feel good, like we talked about before, I pivot it so fast that it's not this
mm,
burden that like, oh God, I wasted half a year or money or this and that. I'm very intuitive when it comes to strategy.
mm. I love that. The perfect combo.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now moving forward and looking at what you're doing right now, like how are you finding the kind of more, I know nothing's ever passive, but quote unquote passive, like not doing as much live coaching and everything. Are you finding, I've always wondered if I went down that path, if I would be bored or like miss the real
Yeah.
connection with people and
Yeah.
everything. How are you feeling about it?
Well, right now I have a mastermind that I see every week. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not talking to anyone. I have a mastermind that I see every week. This year I am running my hot audience program live. So it's not like I've removed myself from it so much that it's like nothing, but I compared to what I've done, I have so much space. And
Mm,
me, I love to coach, but I've always considered myself a content creator and a marketer. Like I love the business side of things. I love marketing, I love packaging, I love selling, I love all of that. So this space that I've given myself dialing back from live coaching, I'm actually immersing myself more in content creation, behind the scenes business stuff, which I really thrive in. And then besides that, I have just the space to like not have to do anything for the rest of the day, or I can be with my family and this and that. So I actually am really loving it. And I have a good
mm,
balance right now. Like I think if I would go too long without any connection, I think I would miss it. So I have just enough. But I'm just letting myself be express my creative side just in like the content, the marketing, the repackaging of things. But I've built a really incredible body of work over the last 8 years and I feel so complete with it besides a few things that I'm still doing. And I just think it's the coolest thing that I can continue to sell it without leading it and I can just have fun in the marketing of it and the launching of it and the campaigns. And then people who didn't buy it before, didn't know me before, can still experience all of that hard work that I put in. And I
mm,
think it's smart for people to think about because even if right now you think, oh, I would never want to quit live coaching, you actually don't know that. Right? Like we can change so fast. And it's like, if the day were to come, do you have a body of work to sell? And I just think that's
mm,
important to think about earlier or sooner than when you think you need it. Because then you'll
mhm,
have that foundation the moment that you do want to dial back. But I
mm.
really loving the space, but I still am able to connect. Like I still have those connection moments, but I still have a lot more space compared to what I had in the past, which I'm loving.
Yeah, so good. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for all of this. Tell us, is there anything we should be paying attention to now? Is there anything on the horizon that is coming or that you know you're figuring out?
I mean, just stay connected on social media. Like there's like who knows with me, there's always something. I just think like, I I think my content is better than ever in terms of the topics that I've been talking about. I have like my main core offers that I think everyone should be in, and those are easy to find once you follow me. But I think that I'm just always focused on service and helping people grow and helping people, build a business in a way that makes them happy, no matter how that changes and evolves over time. And although I'm dialing back, I'm still committed to that mission. It's just shared in a different way than it's been shared over the years.
And that in itself is so impressive, like, to be able to dial back, to hold yourself in that, to, like, yeah, not need all the external validation through that process, like, that is impressive and something that not many people can say they've done, so it's just a whole new world of challenge and everything that you're going through too.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I'm excited to model this era too because, like, everyone's gonna get to this point in their business where they question, "Well, what is next and what do I want?" And I know we touched on this, but, like, there's not a lot of people. I know you're kinda connecting with some. There's few people in the industry that are in this phase, but there's not a lot, right?
Mm.
And that's fine. Like, most people are in the growing phase, the scaling phase, all of that, and I think it's just, like, there will be a time where any person gets to a point where they're asking themselves, how far do I want to take this? Or do I want to keep running my business the same way? And to show people what it looks like when you do dial back, I think is just so important because whether someone's close to that season or not, they're going to need that insight. They're going to need, like, oh, I can remember this is how Steph did it. Not saying someone has to do it the same way, but it kind of gives them permission to, figure life out and business out when you get to that point.
I just love this era of personal branding that we're in, that we get to have these conversations and so openly, and it gets to be part of how we grow our businesses, not just these sneaky behind the scenes things that we every now and then get the gossip on. Like, it's really important conversation. So thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, Steph. And we wish you all the best in whatever comes next for all of us. I'm super excited to see where you go. What a fun era to be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh my god, crazy. Well, thank you so much for having me, and I enjoyed this conversation, and I'm just so excited for everyone to gain value from the wisdom
Yes, thank you so much.
being open to this conversation because I think sometimes podcasts can be very surface level, and this opened up, I think, a conversation that is really important to women no matter what stage that they're at in business right now. So, I'm very grateful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yay. Bye, everyone.